What is God's promise to end all wars? In the second chapter of the book of Isaiah, God told the world that one day all wars would end, and all weapons would be converted to tools that would help mankind. And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. Isaiah chapter 2 verse 4. However, given that mankind has fought wars since recorded history began, how exactly will he do this? To end any problem, you have to get rid of its roots. Otherwise, it will pop up again. Hence, Jehovah is going to end conflict by eliminating its root cause, sin. The author of Revelation talked about his plan here. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. Revelation chapter 21 verse 1. The sea here is wickedness, because just like the sea, the wicked can cause a lot of trouble, according to Isaiah chapter 57 verse 20. The story of Israel, especially during the reigns of the kings, showed that whenever the people sinned, they would suffer wars and invasions. For example, in the book of Judges, the peace that Joshua brought ended because the Israelites served foreign deities. When Asa refused to trust in his father, war broke out until the day of his death, according to 2 Chronicles chapter 16 verse 9. The reason why sin causes conflict is that it makes us selfish. For example, spiritual selfishness makes us reject cooperation, which is an important prerequisite to peace. As St. Paul said, "Finally, brethren, farewell. Be perfect, be of good comfort, be of one mind, live in peace, and the God of love and peace shall be with you." 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 11. The psalmist adds, "Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity." Psalms chapter 133, verse 1. Spiritual selfishness also makes people envious of each other. In 1 Samuel chapter 18 verse 8, after defeating Goliath, David won the hearts of the Israelites, and Saul feared that he would eventually replace him as king. And Saul was very wroth, and the saying displeased him, and he said, "They have ascribed unto David 10,000s, and to me they have ascribed but thousands, and what can he have more but the kingdom?" Instead of giving David the kingship, knowing he could rule Israel better than he could, he chased him all over the country. Many dictators do the exact thing to their opponents, and their actions cause civil unrest or even civil war. However, things don't have to be this way. As I've laid out so far, Jehovah is planning to get rid of all these negative aspects of humanity, and in the end, he will spread peace throughout the world. Of course, God isn't going to snap his fingers and bring peace instantly. Instead, he'll inspire people around the world to create peaceful institutions. As it was said in Haggai, "For thus saith the Lord of hosts, yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens, and the earth, and the sea, and the dry land, and I will shake all nations, and the desire of all nations shall come, and I will fill this house with glory, saith the Lord of hosts." Haggai chapter 2 verses 6 to 7. These institutions are growing in our time because deep down, nations desire things like freedom and cooperation. After all, this isn't the 19th century. Few people enjoy conflict, and most would argue that nobody has actually won once a war is over. Also, these institutions are based on the virtues that Paul lists in his epistle to the Galatians. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. Galatians chapter 5 verses 22 to 23. Charities feed refugees out of love. Diplomats are joyful when wars are averted. More and more leaders patiently search for diplomatic solutions to problems. The vices of Galatians, on the other hand, found in verses 19 to 21, will be eliminated. Society will silence those who embody these principles, and they'll cease to govern the world, according to Matthew chapter 25 verses 41 to 46. Thus, we don't need to despair when we hear about deadly conflicts on the news. It's sad that innocent people have their lives ruined because of the actions of a few powerful politicians, and it's frustrating that humans still fight each other like animals do. However, if there's nothing we can do to help the situation, we can look to God, who's creating a world where people will actually treat others with kindness and respect. As Micah said, "But they shall sit every man under his vine and under his fig tree, and none shall make them afraid. For the mouth of the Lord of hosts hath spoken it." Micah chapter 4 verse 4. As Numbers chapter 23 verse 19 shows, the Lord of hosts isn't bluffing when he says this. And that is where I'm going to stop with this Bible Q&A entitled, "What is God's promise to end all wars?" God has told us that he'll end all forms of conflict by getting rid of sin, selfishness, and envy, and he's already creating peaceful institutions that will help him achieve his goal. Thank you for listening! Don't forget to like and subscribe!